You are driving through the empty hills of Rajasthan as the sun begins to bleed orange across the sky. Your GPS fails. The air grows cold without warning. And then you see it, Bhangarh Fort, rising from the dust like a tombstone. The government signboard doesn't welcome visitors. It forbids them. Entry after sunset is strictly prohibited. No guards sleep inside. No villagers approach after dark. The law does not explain why. It simply commands you to leave before the shadows stretch too long. But laws are written for a reason. And the reason at Bhangarh is a curse spoken 400 years ago by a dying sorcerer named Singhia. The common legend is simple. A tantrik fell in love with Princess Ratnavati. She rejected him. He tried to enslave her with black magic. She threw his enchanted perfume at a boulder. The boulder exploded, and the tantrik was crushed. As he died, he whispered, "Idhar ki chaya, bane kabristan." The shadows here shall become a graveyard. That is the story told to tourists. But the real horror is what happened next. Singhia did not curse the princess. He did not curse the king. He cursed the very fabric of light and darkness inside the fort. He made sure that after sunset, shadows would no longer need objects to exist. They would become free. They would become hungry. And they would remember his rage forever. Now let me tell you what actually happens to people who break the rule. In 2017, 3 engineering students from Jaipur hid inside the fort after closing time. They thought the warnings were superstition. At 7:30 p.m., they heard the first sound, anklets, not music, just the rhythmic jingle of dancing feet coming from an empty hall. No dancer was there. At 9 p.m., the temperature dropped so fast they could see their own breath. At 10 p.m., one of them, Rohit, felt a tap on his shoulder. He turned. Nothing, but his jacket had a handprint, not dust. Ash. Fine, gray ash from no fire, no chimney, no source. The handprint was small, a child's hand, and it was warm. They ran. They didn't stop until they reached the highway. Police stopped them and asked where they had been. When Rohit showed the ash print, the officer's face went pale. He did not file a report. He did not ask questions. He simply said, "Did you climb the 3rd floor?" They said no. The officer exhaled and whispered, "Good, because the one who climbs the 3rd floor never comes down walking." The students later learned that the 3rd floor of the palace has no stairs leading to it. It has been sealed for decades, and yet every night, locals hear footsteps moving across that floor. Footsteps that pace, that stop, that run, that laugh. Scientists have tried to explain Bhangarh. High iron ore content disrupts magnetic fields. Radioactive stones cause hallucinations. Infrasound from ruined architecture creates feelings of dread. All true, all incomplete, because none of those explanations account for the consistency of the terror. Every single person who has stayed after dark reports the same sequence. Temperature drop, anklet sounds, the smell of rotting night blooming jasmine, which does not grow within 50 kilometers of the fort, and finally, the knocking. 3 knocks. Always 3. Always from behind a locked door. Always answered by silence. The most disturbing account belongs to a former ASI security guard named Prakash. He opened the fort every morning at 6 a.m. for 3 years. And every single morning, without exception, he found a single fresh footprint in the dust at the main gate. A barefoot print, small, pointing into the fort, never coming out. He would sweep it away. The next morning, it would be back. Identical. Same size, same depth, same angle. When asked if he ever tried to follow where the footprint led, Prakash laughed a hollow laugh. He said, "There is no trail, only the first step. Whatever is in there, it only needs one step to cross over. The rest of the body is already inside." So here is the truth about Bhangarh. It is not the most haunted place in India because it has the most ghosts. It is haunted because time itself has folded there. The tantrik's dying wish was not to create spirits. It was to create a loop, a scratch in reality that repeats every night, trapping a single moment of hatred and fear. Those who enter after dark do not meet Singhia. They become part of his loop. They hear what he heard. They feel what he felt. And if they stay too long, they forget how to leave. Today, you can visit Bhangarh before sunset. You can take photos. You can laugh at the curse. But watch your shadow as the sun dips lower. Notice if it stretches a little longer than it should. Notice if it moves when you stand still. And when the police arrive at 6 p.m. to clear the grounds, do not argue. Do not hide. Just walk to your car and drive away. Because some stories are not warnings. They are survival guides. And Bhangarh is still waiting for the one fool who stays long enough to answer the 3 knocks. Do not be that fool.